Welcome to Star Citizen, the Alpha 3.11 and the ROC mining update. And as we can see directly here, the ROC currently has its problems and we will go into these in more detail. But first of all, it is still worth mining with the ROC, but the ROC is not longer as lucrative as it was in the previous version of the game. In addition to pure hedanite spots, there are now only mixed spots and materials that are of course less valuable. However, there are still a few spots where we can still find plenty of hedanite. And of course we'll look at them. But first to a bug. Here you can see the mining laser which points upwards. If you have this bug, simply go to mining mode with the M key and M again to deactivate. Then your mining laser will not get caught in the ship and you can park or drive out as normal. I would like to refer to the previous video again. Here you will find all the information, above all why we are here with the Cutlass Red. In short, this offers enough space for the ROC, we can stow it away safely and we have a very good scanner with us which can detect the materials through the ROC very quickly and effectively. And of course, a big plus, we have a mobile spawn point with us that has saved us from a complete loss or charge or a crash at one point or another. We are here on Aberdeen in the Hurston area. There are relatively many hedanite deposits here, but of course also the less valuable and unstable Dolovine. Dolovine of course has its pitfalls, we'll go into that later. However, you are now looking for hedanite, and one more tip in advance, use a Pembroke suit as additional storage space. You can also use the Novikov, but the Pembroke is recommended for hot areas like this one. Because with the suit we also have a storage space that offers us another 30,000 UEC of additional capacity. Otherwise, little has changed in ROC mining, but there are new bugs with ROC that were not previously in the game. And I hope that these will be eliminated soon, as they unnecessarily complicate the flow of the game. We have found a smaller hedanite occurrence here, and we see again how our mining laser points upwards. Activate the mining mode briefly with M and deactivate it again immediately. Then the good piece works as it should. Relatively little has changed in the mining itself. Our ROC continues to move a little while mining if you don't deactivate the engines. What is noticeable is that the mining beam starts to drift upwards relatively often and we have a hard time getting the energy into the stone. However, with a little practice and sure instinct, it works as usual again. And we can mine the stones quickly and effectively. But there is a noticeable change when collecting the stones. It was relatively easy here and it was quick and easy to collect the stones effectively and precisely. And now the whole thing works with a relatively long delay. It sometimes works more difficult. Therefore my tip, imagine the whole thing as if you want to crush a stone. We first have to apply enough energy in a certain area and then all the stones in the area are automatically collected. The whole thing can take several seconds and we see that here even more often than stones that are actually far away are suddenly collected if it's by magic. That means just show patience and stick to the one point longer. At some point the stones will also collect. And a little tip about collecting, just let your collecting lasers stand on one point. The ROC moves relatively slowly forwards when the engines are switched on. With this very slight movement it is usually enough for a laser to pick up all the stones in this area. With version 3.11 there was another big innovation, namely that we can now access the item system of our ROC itself. That also means the freight that we have stored in the back of the ROC in a box. This was previously only available for clicking. Now get a menu open and we see our personal inventory from the ROC. This is divided into the backpack and the personal storage room, but it must be said that this personal area has caused some problems and has therefore been removed. So we currently only have our backpack. A full load with our Pembroke suit that we wear here, filled with hedanite, gives us around 32,000 UEC. And we should definitely make use of this additional capacity. And as well we'll look at later, there is another possibility to create almost unlimited capacity with collected material. And here's another tip for parking when you're on the road with the Red. Drive as far forward as you can see here, so that the rear tires are on the silver rail. The door can be closed from the inside and the ROC is not squashed and it optimally stowed away. However, there is also a new bug which is very annoying. We see here we have a full energy on our mining laser but no energy reaches the stone. In my test it was so that every 3 or 4 occurrences it was so far, and my rock became, so to speak, useless. Here it only helps to respawn our rock, or the easiest way to destroy it in order to get it back for you. Because unfortunately there is also another bug, namely that the rock can no longer spawn at the same station. This can happen if you just leave the rock and fly back to the station where it was originally spawned. If you try to claim it again, we get an error message that we will look at it again later. Therefore my tip: destroy your rock when it's no longer functional and fly back without it. Then claim it again. As long as the rock is displayed as destroyed, the whole thing works. And here, for example, we have now sold a load of Hedonite from our suit for almost 32,000 UEC. So far in the previous versions there was still the bug that the personal storage, which had now been removed, could be sold multiple times. However, this bug has already been fixed. If we simply leave our rock and try to claim the rock again, we get an error message. If the time has come, then you have to go to another station. There you can claim the rock again. That works too, and you can take it with you. And as mentioned, to get around that, simply destroy the rock which is no longer functional, either with the ship's weapons or self-destruct. Then you can also claim the rock again. The bug that prevents you from getting any energy in the stone noticeably hinders the flow of the game, and I hope that there will be a hotfix here soon. Otherwise, the rock is still a tried and tested means of earning good UEC relatively quickly, and the whole thing is connected with fun. However, I would like to introduce you to another bug, namely this one. If we ever find a large field of Hedonite or other stones that apparently only need to be collected, don't even try to land and collect the whole thing. That's a bug. Another player was here and the stones are still there, but we can't collect them. Therefore, we save ourselves the trouble here and look for another job. And as I already showed you in the last rock update video, it is still very worthwhile to move around with the prospector as reinforcement. This cracks the stones very quickly and we have the opportunity to significantly increase your UEC yield. We were in a small event here, which was fun despite the many bugs, and we were able to work together relatively well here. And how we can improve the whole thing even further? That is, do the whole thing as a team. We will see again later. We will expand the whole thing into a professional mining round. And a little warning about Dolovine. It is worth less than Hedonite and it's apparently easier to break down, but the whole thing is also unstable. That means, for example, we put energy on the stone here and the energy goes back in the stone. But then it comes back suddenly and the stone overloads and overheats very quickly. That means if you should break down Dolovine, be very careful or go straight to Hedonite. And what is still possible with the item system, which was introduced in 3.11, we take a closer look at here. On the one hand, we have the opportunity to use the material not only from our own rock, but also from other rocks we meet. Here too we can pack the stones in our storage, that is, in our backpack. But if we are in a ship like here, we can have the whole thing packed in a box. A small cargo box is created here, which we can then take with us and then sell it in our own ship at every outpost where the material is traded. It is therefore possible that you are on the road in a team, for example. One player mines stones with the prospector, another with Cutlass and ROC just collects the stones, and a third player regularly picks up the material and sells it for the team. This saves a lot of time that you would otherwise need alone to fly to sell. For example, we have some Hedonite in our rock and pack it all into our backpack. If the rock is in a ship, you can put the whole thing in a box. However, let's look at how we sell this. In the backpack we can sell it as usual in the personal inventory and get 28,000 UEC for it. And if we want to put the whole thing in a box and not stand in a ship, then we get an error message. We try the same in our ship. There we can create a box which then lies at our feet. And we can then fill this fresh box as usual. That means we can store several boxes in our ship and then sell them all in the terminal. We also have no limit here. That is, these small boxes can be stacked and we can turn them all into UEC at once, via the sales terminal. When we go on our ship here, we see the boxes, and for the Hedonite here we get the same price as if we had the whole thing in our personal inventory. However, it is also possible to sell several boxes at once, and this makes the whole thing very effective. And how you can build the whole thing in a larger dimension, let's look at now. With several mining teams, a prospector, a cutlass with a rock, and the courier who picks up everything from the various teams, you can mine relatively quickly and effectively. We mine stones, and the full rock is always picked up by a courier and brought into a small transport ship. This then flies to sell, and the profit is simply shared. If you feel like taking part in such activities, stop by our Discord or the Royal Retirement Launch Corps. You can find the links in the description below. However, the whole thing is currently, as I said, with some bugs. And we always have to struggle with problems here, so there are still possible solutions here, such as how you can avoid or solve bugs. For example, an overturned rock is not a broken leg, we just have to get in here and can put the rock up again. For this we simply activate the energy and try to move in a lying position. And when we turn on power, your rock is set up again. Ta-da! I really hope you enjoyed the video and you leave me a like and a subscribe here. If you activate the bell, you will automatically receive all new videos and you don't have to search long for them. The rock is still a good way to earn UEC, and especially in a team, it's still a lot of fun. With the workarounds for the bugs mentioned in the video, we can eliminate or at least minimize game errors, so we still make a good UEC cut. And if you are interested in such events or other events, then come to the Discord or become a member of the relaxed association of players who like to travel together. And if you are looking for ships or items from the Star Citizen universe, stop by Star Hangar. Here you can shop safely and legally. And for a new game, check out citykeys.com, here you get everything at great prices. And finally, I would like to point out GameGlass. GameGlass offers real added value to Star Citizen or Dangers, and with the code CAROGG or the link in the description, you get a 5% discount on the whole. Last but not least, there is of course another giveaway. Currently there is a Tavern War uniform in white and a complete game, namely Cyberpunk 2077, that will be released at the end of November and you can get it for the PC. As always, it is sufficient to be a visible subscriber and to have left a comment since the last giveaway video. I hope the video was understandable and I was able to help you. And if you have any suggestions or comments, please let me know. I already tried to answer them all and then let them flow in. I say goodbye, and as always, see you in the verse.